Good evening. We're bringing the Friday night lights inside today for a star-studded gymnastics show in Denton, Texas. Today at Kitty Winter McGee Arena. I'm joined by former Texas Women's University gymnast Daisy Bartholomew. How are you doing today, Daisy?
I'm doing great, thanks.
So we also have not two but three teams that will compete in a tri-meet today. Your host will be the Texas Women's University Pioneers, University of Denver, and University of Arizona. Now, all three of these teams are coming off of huge wins. They just started the season, so a great way to kick off your season by winning your season opener. TWU beat Pitt last week, and they also set a record for highest team score in a season opener for the program. Now, across the country to Arizona, they took home a win against Washington, and number 16 ranked Denver beat number 13 Stanford. Now, Daisy, me and you, we had the pleasure to watch TWU in their home opener. What's something that impressed you the most?
Well, really just being able to start out that way, and this year not having to build all the way up, but starting off on a high is huge.
So today we will have 4 rotations for you. The first rotation will include TWU on vault, Denver will start on bars, and Arizona will take a swing at the beam. Now, there are a lot of Arizona freshmen to watch. They really had a great recruiting class this summer, starting with Elle Braga. She's a phenomenal gymnast from Chicago, and she trained at Georgia Elite Gymnastics for 5 years under Coach Pete Aries. Now, heading over to Riley Carmen. She was a 2-time national qualifier, and she reigns from Columbus, Ohio. We also have Delaney Mead, and she is from Washington. And one of the main reasons why she said she chose Arizona was because the people and the campus, everyone at Arizona was so welcoming to her and also made her feel like family. Now, we have 2 more freshmen to keep your eyes on for Arizona. Hillary Polillo, she is also from Arizona, so not too far from Tucson. She's from Phoenix, which is always great for gymnasts in their first collegiate year taking on college athletics, to be able to have your family just so close by. And then last but not least, we have Lily Tisdale. She's from Austin, Texas, so about 3 to 4 hours here from Denton. But those are 5 freshmen to watch at Arizona. Now, back over to today's meet. So starting off for Arizona on beam will be Abigail Martin, and she leads the Wildcats in beam 9.85. Now, luckily for us, we have our beam extraordinaire, Daisy, here. What would you say are 2 keys to really just locking in on beam?
Well, really breathing and just staying smooth, staying calm, keeping your composure. That sets the tone not just for yourself, but also the judges, and really just being consistent on the small details, pointed toes, settling into the beam, all the things that go into more than just staying on the beam.
Yeah, so for those of you at home watching, since it is a tri-meet, we will have vault, bars, and beam all going on simultaneously. Usually if we just have 2 teams competing, we will have the first rotation, and both teams will pretty much alternate. But we are going to do our very best to give all 3 teams their shine on every single event. Now, for myself, floor is always something that I love to watch. Also, another pointer for you all at home, every 2 years you will see the gymnasts get a new floor routine. And I don't know if you all also notice that sometimes you'll see some of their teammates kind of dancing along on the side. Why would you say floor is one of those events that a lot of people look forward to as well?
Well, floor really is a performance. It's more than just the gymnastics. It's about how can you draw in the crowd and the judges and get the energy up in the arena. And you can do that on floor more than any other event.
And then also, too, looking back at last week, Pittsburgh, that wasn't an easy win. They were really neck and neck, and it really came down to those beam scores. What would you say made Pittsburgh so competitive last time?
Well, really, both teams were competitive and consistent the whole night. It was neck and neck every event, and it really came down to Pitt had to count a fall on the beam, and TWU only put 5 up in their lineup on floor, which means they had to count all 5 scores, and they did it.
So also too, kind of going back to beam a little bit, I know sometimes you'll see a lot of gymnasts not have the traditional start where you just kind of get on the beam and start. There's different ways to start your beam routine to kind of add points and just to add that extra bit of flair to your routine. What would you say kind of goes into that decision-making process?
Yeah, I think it really depends on the gymnast and their style, all the artistry. Dance is a big part of beam, and whatever their style is, whatever the coach really loves to see, that goes into choosing what mount you want to do.
Yeah, then I know you'll also kind of see obviously choreography mixed in for floor routine, and you'll see it a little bit in beam. What would you say the main difference is between the choreography?
Well, floor, you get to have a little bit more fun, let up. You get to incorporate music, and you don't have to be so rigid, I guess. College gymnastics has grown a lot in the choreography. It's not so strict, I guess, and has a lot more fun now.
Yeah, and then also too with beam and just overall gymnastics, TWU schedule is so good this year. So many different Division I programs that are on you all schedule for this upcoming year. So what would you say is kind of the advantage that you all have that you always go against such great competition?
Yeah, I think you just keep it consistent the whole season and stay in your moment. You know, it really, think about college gymnastics, it doesn't matter what the other teams are doing because you're competing against yourself, whether it's the best team in the country or not, and you just have to stay locked in and then let the results fall where they do.
So as a reminder for those at home, TWU will start on vault, Denver will start on bars, and Arizona will start on beam, and we will take a quick break before getting started. All right, so we just saw Jordan Luke take on vault. To me, it was a pretty seamless vault. Do you have any pointers there?
Yeah, she did great getting all the way around on the table, and that's a hard vault, doing a full twist on, but she landed great. So great start to vault.
Shyla Bhatta just finished up on bars for Denver, and now we have beam, Gianna Linzer. Gianna killing it on the beam here, nice and composed.
Little wobble on that aerial, but she managed to stay on.
Yeah, and really you can see her commitment to finishing out strong. Doesn't seem waved at all by the slight tumble. Sophia Hernandez just wrapped up on vault for the Pioneers. Beautiful dismount by Gianna, and you could just see by her teammates' reaction, she killed that.
Beam is always a hard event to start the meet off on, and that was a great first lineup routine.
Right now we're getting a look at bar, Caitlin Castle.
Good finish. Really had to fight on that blind full, but she managed to do it and did a great double tuck dismount. One of the things on dismounts you really want to look for is the position of the chest. Is it down? You want it right up, really perpendicular to the floor.
Kylie Gambari for TWU on a vault.
Yurchenko full, really nicely done. Small step on the landing, maybe drag that foot a little bit, which will be a deduction, but Great Yurchenko full.
Yeah, one thing I will say about Kylie is you can definitely see the improvement of her vault from last year to this year, and she is pretty young. She still is only a sophomore, so her trajectory within college athletics and gymnastics is definitely going to be far. Couple of scores in for vault. Luke, 9.7. Sophie Hernandez, 9.675. Bars for Batsa, 9.775. Next up on beam, we have Tarza Wise. Maddie Murphy next on vault. We'll keep it here on beam a little longer. A tumbling pass there.
Back handspring, layout, step out. Really solid.
Compose stays on the beam throughout the entire time. Little bit of a stumble for Maddie on a vault, but I will say
beautiful full turn on beam.
Yeah, with that turn on beam, you really have to find somewhere to spot to make sure that you don't get dizzy mid-turn.
Stuck 1.5 dismount.
Beautiful landing for Tarza. Elena Reed gearing up on vault.
Maddie Murphy with a 9.725. Yeah, that was a great vault for Maddie. She does a front handspring, front pike on, and she has to get a lot of block and amplitude off to be able to get that half turnaround on
For sure.
landing.
Kylie Gambari, 9.7.
Great Yurchenko full for Elena Reed. Just a small step on the landing, but other than that, it was great.
Still waiting on a few bar scores so far. We have Batsia, 9.775. Linzer, 9.650 for Arizona on beam. Sophia Isabel next on vault for TWU.
She does a Yurchenko 1.5. And this is the third 10-0 start value that TWU has in the vault lineup, which is the first time in TWU history that they've had that.
It's great to see this program evolving over the years for sure. And it'll land some great recruits next year.
Great vault. Just small step back, but it was safe. It was in the center. Really good vault for Sophia Isbell.
And also, too, this is her second meet pulling this out today, so I can only imagine as the season goes on, I definitely can see that landing being a little bit more solid and just her score increasing with that vault more and more as the season goes on.
Definitely.
Juliana Baker will be next on vault for TWU. We have bars back up and running. Mila Brush taking on bars. And Hillary Pilo on beam. Stunning finish for Mila over there on bars. Juliana Baker. Sophia Isabel gets the highest vault score for TWU, 9.825.
I'm loving Hillary's confidence here on beam. Side aerial, slight balance check, but able to pull it back.
So slight change tonight in bars. The person that was in the number 2 lineup spot will actually go 7th after their 6th person in the roster, and then they will still drop off that lowest score. Hillary just finished up for the Wildcats on beam.
She almost sucked that dismount, really fought for it, ended up having to take a step forward, but really solid routine.
Tarza Wise for the Wildcats on beam, 9.850. Still waiting for a couple of bar scores. As I mentioned before, our second in the lineup will now go last, but everyone will still perform their bar routine tonight.
Beautiful amplitude on that release. Straight to the bail handstand.
Jessa Janik will have the expedition spot for the Wildcats.
Beautiful double layout, hop forward. That was a great routine. This is going to score big.
As we mentioned before, TWU has wrapped up on the vault with your highest TWU vault performance coming from Sophia Isabel, 9.825. That's the only event so far that we have all the scores back from. Jessa Janik getting ready for beam here for the Wildcats. Cecilia Cooley up next on bars. Madison Redenbach on bars.
Beautiful layout step out series. Split jump to double stag jump. On the double stag jump, it's harder than it looks because you have to put your head fully back, lose sight of the beam before coming back. Front toss and just a little bit off. We'll have to count the fall on that.
Yeah, slight deduction there for Aubrey, but before then, she was really killing it.
handspring, 1.5 dismount, step forward.
This is Aubrey's first time performing on beam this season.
Front toss and chest was down on the landing, wobbled a little bit, but she managed to stay on the beam.
Last year, Emma had the opportunity to perform vault and floor at Big 12 championships, and she's here showing why.
Beautiful layout step out series. I really love just how straight her legs are. They're almost hyperextended and toes extra pointed.
Yeah, truly performing head all the way down to toes.
Wolf turn there, nicely done.
Very strong performance from Emma Storm.
Dismount stacked. That's really what Arizona needed with the fall routine before. Needed to just stay on and get it done.
Yeah, I think Storm is going to score very high for the Wildcats. A big dismount from Harp from Denver back on bars. Lands perfectly.
One thing to note about Denver, last week, out of the 24 routines, 14 of them were college debuts. I think 4 of them were freshmen, 1 was sophomore, and the rest were upperclassmen. And that's pretty impressive. A lot of teams just keep most of the same lineups from the year before, but this really shows how Denver's growing, not just in their recruits, but also their upperclassmen being able to add new routines and add new events to seasoned competitors.
For beam, we have Abigail Martin and Jessa Janik. Jessa will be in the expedition spot for the Wildcats. Non-traditional starters to her beam routine that me and Daisy kind of talked about briefly before the meet got started. Her career best beam routine is a 9.925.
Beautiful switch leap to double sag. Great back handspring layout step out. Looking really solid. They really need her to hit this if they don't want to count a fall. No wobble.
Yeah, as you can tell, she's full of confidence, and on the last skill, squeezed the side of the beam with her feet to make sure she didn't fall off.
Beautiful full turn. Stayed all the way on high toe.
Everything very clean.
That was exactly what Arizona needed to finish off their beam rotation.
For sure, between Emma Storm and Abigail Martin, I really think that is what the Wildcats needed to really boost them up on beam tonight. Last but not least, we will have Jessa Janik in the last expedition spot, and then she will actually be the last gymnast to perform in the first rotation. Our second rotation, we'll get to see TWU on bars, Denver will be on beam, and Arizona will be the first team to take on floor tonight.
one interesting thing to note this year is there is a change in the way that teams qualify for regionals. So the NCAA regionals, they take the top 36 teams. In the past, it's been counted as their top 6 scores, 3 of which must be away, drop the high, average the rest. So really it's 6 scores. And this year they just changed it that it's an average of at least 9 meets, and no more than them of 5 can be home meets. You drop the high and the low, but really it's an average of your whole season, which means you have to be consistent the entire season, and your low scores, they do matter because they will be counted, and you can't just have an off meet.
Yeah, one thing on Jessa Janick, so this is her sophomore year at Arizona. Last year, she mainly competed on vault. It looks like they are looking to eventually add her to their beam lineup, so very important for her to get this expedition spot here for the Wildcats.
Layout step out. Front toss to beat jump, solid landing. Beat jump, straddle half. This is a really solid routine. Can easily be in lineup.
That was really solid there, especially to be in that expedition spot. I mean, I think maybe 2 meets from now, we might actually see this in the lineup, depending on who else is in the lineup and how they're performing. The only critique I would have is really on the landing there. Everything else was pretty smooth.
For sure. And the exhibition spot's just perfect for building that confidence. You know, the skills can be there, but beam especially can be, it's a nerve game and a mind game, and so it's getting that practice, especially in meet setting.
As a reminder, we'll have TWU on bars, Denver on beam, and Arizona will be our first team tonight to take on floor. We're going to go on a brief break as we switch rotations, and then after that we have rotation 3 and 4 coming your way.
I can't explain, I got a feeling that I can't erase, just a feeling that I won't leave behind, because it's something that it's on my mind. I guess it goes like na 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 na.
We welcome you back inside Kitty Winter McGee Arena, where we have TWU on bars, Denver on beams, Arizona on floor. To start things out for the second rotation, we have Cicely Cooley on beam.
Beautiful triple series. Didn't miss a beat there.
Teresa Wise on floor for Arizona. Bailey Buchwalk on bars for TWU.
Great start to beam.
Right now, the score to beat on beam is Abigail Martin, 9.9 in the previous rotation. Over to floor for Arizona.
Got a 1.5 front full. Great floor start as well.
Megan Amold up next for Denver. She's currently recovering from injury. Well, we should say fully recovered now. And excited to see her gain her confidence back tonight on the beam. Next on bars, we have Cami Zarlingo for the Pioneers. We say the Pioneers, but actually TW and Denver are both the Pioneers.
That's a 9.8 for Cecilia Cooley on beam. Great start.
As we mentioned, Cecilia Cooley, 9.8 on beam. And Megan Amold is up next. Slightly off balance in the beginning, but locked right back in.
Aerial back handspring, that is a difficult series. If you're just slightly off on that aerial, it's not good for the back handspring, but she did it great. Beautiful leap series.
You can see she's beginning to let loose and have fun. Isabel LaRusso on floor for Arizona currently.
Front aerial to beat jump. Kept the arms moving, so they should count that as a connection.
TWU Cami Zarlingo just finished up on bars, so we'll keep it here on beam for this fabulous, fabulous landing from Amold. You can see, obviously, the team is super excited for her. As always, you're always rooting for your teammates coming back from injury. Getting a chance to see Isabel on floor here. Such a fun dance mix here, from the music to the choreo, really getting the crowd involved. Seeing a little bit of tears here from Megan Amold. You can just tell how badly she wanted to be back out here, so super excited for her.
1.5 to front layout to finish the routine on floor.
Amold even has their team photographer shedding a few tears as well. So super, super heartfelt moment for Denver here tonight in Denton, Texas, as they are seeing Amold back on the beam. Ashley Gallen here for Denver, getting ready to go on beam. Cami Zarlingo's score has come in for bars, 9.775. Bailey Bourgeois, 9.650. And score for Wise, Arizona, 9.8. We'll keep it here on beam. Again, the score to beat on beam came from Abigail Martin from the Wildcats, 9.9. So it looks like Gallen's giving her a little bit of run for her money here on the beam.
Great series.
Juliana Baker on bars. Beautiful dismount.
Did have a fall on that release, but finished great.
Hillary Polio on floor. A little bit of a stumble on her first tumbling pass, but looks like she's getting right back into it, trying to get her mind right by really leaning all the way into the fun choreography. And Gallen lands her dismount right in front of us for beam.
Now Hillary on floor, she debuted last week with a 9.9. One and a half to front full. A little low on that amplitude on the front full.
As the season goes on, looking for Hillary to keep up the energy from start to finish. Again, she's already shown her coaches what the capability of that floor routine is by, as Daisy mentioned, 9.9 debut in a season opener. Now, at that point, you set the bar so high for the rest of the season, so you want to be nearly perfect almost every time, and especially for those NCAA regional scores and the new scoring that Daisy also mentioned earlier in the broadcast. Amanda Hargraves up next for Denver on beam. And Elena Reed is on bars currently for TWU.
Kai Jaeger to pack. A little close to the bar on the pack. Great handstand. Blind full. Double tuck dismount.
Wow, beautiful.
Love the trust on that landing too.
You could just see a sense of relief after the dismount from Elena there. Amanda Hargraves on beam.
Front aerial and back handspring. Did a really good job of keeping that momentum going. On the floor. Really unique dismount, and she did it beautifully. That's a front gainer full.
Going back over to floor to visit with Riley Carmen from Arizona. A little bit of a rock and roll-esque theme here. Tumbling pass here.
Some bent legs on that front layout, but great ending.
Brooke Ferrari on bars. And she kills her dismount.
Brooke was the MIC Performance of the Week last week. And that routine right there shows why.
A couple of TW scores here for you. Juliana Baker, 8.925. Elena Reed, 9.8. On beam for Denver, Amol, 9.725. Gallon, 9.7. Still waiting on Hargraves.
And those two routines on bars from Elena and Brooke is really what we needed. See TW just pick up the energy, pick up the momentum, and keep it going.
Madison Riedenbaugh up next for Denver. Caroline Bounds currently performing on bars for TWU. TWU currently killing it on bars. Right now, they are the team to beat when it comes to bars tonight. Not one wobbly dismount or landing in sight.
Great beam routine. That was a side summy you saw earlier. Don't see as many of those.
Score just came in for Brooke Ferrari, 9.775. Beautiful tumbling pass by Abigail Martin on the floor. A little bit of a stumble there on the landing, but other than that, she stayed poised from start to finish. Preparing for dismount.
Great 1.5. Really got some good amplitude on that. So much had step forward on the dismount, but solid routine.
Shyla Bhatia up next for Denver on beam. Jordan Luke wrapping up bars for TWU. Only one stumble the whole night on bars for TWU, so they are for sure the team to beat tonight on bars. Caroline Bounds, 9.825. And for Jordan Luke's routine to be a expedition routine for the Pioneers, you can only imagine the heights that they will go this year on bars. Easily something that could have been in the regular lineup. Shyla Bhatia. On beam for Denver. We also have two more routines from floor from Arizona on the way, Emma Storm and Delaney Mead.
Great front pike toss to wolf jump.
TW is all finished on bars.
Handspring without step out.
Batias works very hard to stay on beam. Preparing for a dismount momentarily here. And here we go.
Love the stick. Icing on the cake.
You can hear the whole right side of the gym erupted from the dismount, and sturdy landing could only be a telltale sign for those at home. Now over to Emma Storm for the Wildcats, finishing out on floor. Wonderful 80s pop mix that she brings in here tonight. Wow.
Great, one and a half of that step out.
Emma Storm doing a beautiful job on the floor.
Sweet Caroline music is always a great choice and a fan favorite. Ooh, save that.
Beautiful routine from Emma Storm. Up next for Denver on beam, we have Abby Steely, not to be confused with Steely King from last year, TWU squad. Very intricate way to start out her routine. An automatic attention grabber.
Great front aerial. Left handspring that step out.
Love how Steely is taking her time here. Understanding this is her moment.
Really great flexibility on the dance and the leaps. Great exhibition routine.
Our last floor routine from the Wildcats from Delaney Mead. They had Emma Storm as their anchor, and now Mead will compete in the expedition spot.
Handspring Rudy to one or play out step out.
A couple of scores for you on beam. Redenbaugh, 9.8. Bhatia, 9.775. Couple of more floor scores for you. Abigail Martin, 9.725. Emma Storm, 9.725. LaRusso also got a 9.725 from Arizona. Brooke Ferrari, 9.775 on bars for TWU. And then her teammate, Caroline Bounds, 9.825. Caitlin Castle will wrap up Denver's turn on beam, as they actually had 2 expedition spots tonight, Steely and Castle. And Castle will actually wrap up our complete rotation 2. And once she's done, we will have finished our first half of the meet, and then we will have rotation 3 and rotation 4.
Set up with a great wolf turn there. That was a double. Oh, and here we go, another one. 2 in a row. It's
Castle's
both of them.
first time performing on beam this season. At their season opener, she performed on bars, scored a 9.8.
Back handspring layout, step out. Great job getting to that finish. Could have been a wobble, but she got her arms down and it's great.
Really engaging her core there.
Split jump. Denver's really showing their depth and beam lineup with these 2 exhibitions, and they were able to drop a 9.65 in lineup.
Great job for Castle and a great way to finish up our second rotation. Now, when we come back for our third rotation, Arizona will start off on vault. TWU will be front and center on beam, and Denver will take on the long-awaited floor. We'll have all the action for you right after this break. We've got rotation 3 coming right up for you from Denton, Texas, in Kitty McGee Arena. As a reminder, we had Arizona on vault, TWU taking on the beam, and Denver will get the second shot at floor tonight. Now, Daisy, with beam being one of your events, as you competed as a pioneer here, who would you say you've really seen step up on beam the past couple of years?
Well, one that's really been fun to watch this year is Sophia Isbell. Coming in with the triple series, she's been really solid. But a lot of sophomores this year too. Elena Reed, Kylie Gambari. These have all been really fun. Sophie Hernandez has been a solid leadoff position all her years at TWU. She's a junior now, and she started that off her freshman year. Right, Yurchenko full on vault for Arizona to start off.
Starting things off with Sophia Hernandez for TWU on beam. Isabella Russo just finished up on a vault for Arizona.
Sophie starts off with a forward roll mount, which does count for a skill. It's harder than it looks, but it's nice to get a skill in on your mount. Great layout step out. Really settling into the beam well. Switch leap to switch half. Picked that foot up, wobbled, but brought it back. Back handspring 1.5, dismount, stuck. As I said, Sophie is a great lead-off position for TW on beam.
Yeah, even watching her last Sunday compete on beam, I think, as you mentioned earlier, you know, for those NCAA regional spots, all about consistency. I definitely think that she's well on her way, because I didn't really see that much difference in how she performed on Sunday versus today. Abigail Martin just finished a vault for Arizona.
Really great landing on that Yurchenko full too. Just a small hop.
Score has come in for LaRusso on vault, 9.725.
Now Denver on floor, they are ranked number 3 nationally. So they are going to be tough to beat on this event.
Currently watching Amanda Hargraves from Denver on floor. And then after Amanda, we'll get to see Addie Hewitt for the first time tonight.
Great leap series. Really looking if they're getting their full body and feet all the way around on those leap angles.
Elena Reed starting off her beam routine for TWU. Sophie Dare finishing up on a vault for Arizona. Beautiful tumbling passage back on floor for Hargraves.
Elena had a little wobble on that back handspring, let it step out. Able to save it. Aerial to split jump. Great job.
Doing a great job of using that choreography as a way for her to catch her breath there.
Fought for that stuck landing, and she got it.
Yeah, she's 2 for 2 on landings. Again, going back to her bars routine, landed her dismount perfectly, and she was able to save her landing here on beam.
Elena did a nice job of just staying in the moment, breathing the whole way through her routine. It's really easy on beam. If one thing's just a little off, then you may rush the next thing or let your mind wander a little bit, but she just did great keeping it one thing at a time.
Score in for Abigail Martin on vault, 9.825.
Arizona's looking really consistent on these Yurchenko fulls on vault. Another great Yurchenko full, just small hop back, but that's about it.
Sophie Hernandez on beam, 9.825. Addie Hewitt for the first time tonight on floor for the Denver Pioneers.
She did sit down that front full. That's a difficult skill. Feet just didn't quite get underneath her.
$9.75 for Elena Reed. Hoping to see Hewitt stick with it all the way to the end. Seems like her slight fall may have brought the energy down just slightly. Kind of getting her in her head just a little bit, but again, we are only in the second meet of the season.
by Sophia Stefan on beam. That is a front tuck mount. Struggled on it a bit last week, but she nailed it this week.
Yeah, kind of was able to knock the jitters off last week.
And really solid series. Great switch leap. Also struggled on that last week, and she has made a lot of improvements, not just in skills, but also confidence. That handspring 1.5, almost stuck it. That was a really, really great routine for Fee there.
A lot of emotions here in Denton, Texas.
She's definitely battled a lot, injury-wise, just coming back, and has earned that routine right there.
Yeah, gymnastics in a way reminds me of volleyball a little bit in the way that teammates really celebrate each other after anything small or big, and I think that's really just great for building team morale and also to getting through these meets. They are pretty longer, especially when you have 3 teams competing. They go more on the 3-hour end, so really just seeing everybody keep up their morale and keep on cheering on their teammates, similar to sets in volleyball. Over to Arizona on vault. Jessa Janick.
Great Yurchenko full. Small step forward on that landing. Great job bringing it back. The last vault, a little short on that Yurchenko full. We're going at 9.5.
Caroline Bounds up next on beam for TWU. Elena Reed, 9.725 for TWU. Hargraves on the floor for Denver and 9.8. Hewitt, we did see a little bit of the stumble, so her score is reflecting that a little bit. The judges have scored her at 8.85.
Caroline Bounds on the beam. Starting off with a great side aerial. Absolutely love Caroline's artistry and just confidence. Solid back handspring layout step out. Very dynamic and just hitting from one skill to another.
Hillary Polio for Arizona wraps up her vault.
Turn.
Arizona has wrapped up their vault with Jessa Janick as the anchor. Beautifully done last week for Caroline Bounds, beautifully done this week.
And that is a stuck dismount for Caroline on beam.
Super excited for Caroline after that performance. Couple of pioneers left on the beam. Ruby Gold, Sophia Isabel, and Kylie Gunbari. Sophia Steffens up next on vault for Arizona. Sophia Steffen, 9.650 on beam for TWU. Madison Redenbaugh on floor for Denver.
great opening pass and gluing those legs and feet together.
Great transition there for Redenbaugh on the floor. Beautiful tumbling passage there.
Really love that chest position on the landing of that double shot. Didn't move feet either.
Bringing you back to Beam to watch Reby go. One thing you'll see TWU do very well is their spotting during their turns. Just avoiding that anxious wobble.
That is a back handspring to side aerial. Again, that series is really harder than it looks because you switch the momentum. You're going backwards and then forwards, and you have to keep moving without showing a stop. Otherwise, that is a deduction. Split jump through quarter.
You tell she's beginning to relax just a tad.
Just the dismount here.
Gearing up for the dismount.
Side aerial to 1.5, small step back, but that was a really solid routine for Ruby. Definitely should be proud of that.
Caroline Bounds, 9.725. Scores come in. Super fun Alicia Keys instrumental for Cecilia Cooley for Denver on the floor.
And Cecilia is ranked #1 nationally on floor last week. This is a great routine. With a 1.5 front layout, really great amplitude.
Very New York style routine with the Alicia Keys instrumental going into the Broadway theme music and ending off as you normally see actors in show plays finish. A super positive reaction from the crowd and just super proud of that routine, I can imagine. Sophia Isabel up next on Beam for the Pioneers.
This is the anchor position for Beam on TW. Back handspring layout, step out, layout, step out. Nails it. Just a little off on that leap. Nails the hard skill, and then it's always the easier one to mess you up. Round off 1.5. Great ending. I know she's going to be beating herself up for that. But TWU didn't have to count a fall on Beam, so had a little bit more wiggle room.
Yeah, and as we mentioned earlier, again, only the second meet of the season. So, you kind of want to get those tumbles and stumbles out early on to be consistent the rest of the season. Kylie Gambari will compete in beam for the Pioneers. She'll have that expedition spot there.
Just a little off on floor on that opening pass. It was a front layout to Rudy. Had too much power, bounced out, and then just kind of lost her footing.
Tara Reuter right now we're watching on a floor in that expedition spot for Denver. Madden Reading-Bot for Denver at 9.875. Cynthia Cooley 9.925. She's now the one to be on the floor as TWU takes on floor next. Ruby Gold 9.750. Kylie Gambari on beam.
Catley to switch side. Hands bring that step out. Pick that foot up on that front foot.
Able to use that right back leg to grip onto the beam.
Running punch front.
Can't wait to see her get a little bit more comfortable on beam as she's a star on floor. Beam also incorporates a little bit of choreography, so I really think beam, as time goes on, can truly be somewhere where she also shines outside of floor.
Nailed that dismount.
And that wraps up everything for rotation 3. Our last and final rotation coming up, we will have Denver on vault, Arizona on bars, and TWU will take the third and last stab at floor. We'll be right back to you with the last and final rotation tonight. Here at Katie Winter McGee Arena, we have one more rotation for you, our fourth and final, but we always save the best for last here at vault, Denver, bars, Arizona, and floor. Taking our third and final stab at the floor will be TWU, and Cami Zarlingo will get the party started. Always look forward to this routine.
Opening up with a round off double back. Huge.
Very New York b-ball inspired.
Really great leaps. Cammy's come a long way in her leaps, and that looks awesome.
Hargrave hits the vault for Denver, and she nails it.
Huge Urtanko full, stuck that landing, flared the hips on the way down too. That's gonna score big.
Kylie Gambari on beam for my third rotation, 9.625. Sophia Isabel, 9.325. She had a slight fall off the beam there.
1.5 front layout. Beautifully done. Could keep the legs together a little bit on that front layout, but had really great amplitude.
Love how much fun Cami has with this every time she performs it.
Like we said, TW only has 5 in the lineup for floor, which means they can't count any falls. But it really shows, they did this last week, and it really shows how confident they are in their floor lineup.
For TW, we have Cami Zarlingo Bailey Bourgeois, Kylie Gambari, Sophia Isabel, and Sophia Hernandez will anchor out the rotation.
The reason they only have 5 is because they've got quite a few out injured, including Kylie Menard. She's out with an ankle injury right now, but we're hoping to see her back later in the season.
Yeah, she's a new addition to TWU this year. High stakes, high expectations there for her on floor. So we're seeing TWU kill it on floor without her. So I can only imagine how much of a force they'll be reckoned with once they add her back into the floor lineup. Addie Hewitt, we'll see her for the second time this evening on vault for Denver.
That last vault score was a 9.775. A little low, but they might have taken on the chest position. Thought it would have scored a little bit higher than that. Still a great score. Just a little short on that Yurchenko full.
Yeah, you can tell he was slightly disappointed with the performance there. Leans forward on the landing a bit. Arizona currently killing it on the bars.
Great piked Jaeger and overshoot there.
Hillary Polillo.
Blindfold, double tuck dismount. Small hop forward there. Solid routine though.
Bailey Bourgeois on floor for TWU.
Open up with a double pike. Great power on that. Might have slid the front foot a little bit, which would be a small deduction. All depends on the judge's view also though.
Very clean leg there.
One and a half front layout, nailed it.
Love the transition and the music there. Fits her personality to a T.
Finish with a double tuck. Great routine for Bailey.
Cynthia Cooley doesn't budge at all on her landing on vault. Will definitely score high for Denver there. And for Bailey Bourgeois, that might have been the best I've seen her perform that routine on floor. Next up for TW, Kylie Gambari, a fan favorite on floor for sure. Just you can see her tenacity oozing out in every move. Madison Riedenbach up next for Denver on vault. On bars currently for Arizona, Riley Carmen.
Beautiful hit handstands here. Great lines. Another hit handstand.
Addie Hewitt, 9.55. Not too bad for that stumble that she had towards the end on her landing. So to still get a 9.55, I don't think I'm too mad at that if I'm her.
That was a great bar routine for Arizona. Beautiful double layout. That's going to score big. That might be a high for tonight. Great Yurchenko full for Denver also. Stuck that landing. You can tell they've really been focusing on the landings in practice.
Kylie Gambari starting on floor here. This is one of the floor routines I truly enjoyed all season last year. She came out swinging as a freshman on the floor, working her way right into the lineup early on. Wow.
Beautiful double pike. So high, but she does a great job controlling that power. I think Kylie is a prime example of what it looks like to put on a performance. The crowd loves it.
Love the transition between music. Really reminds me of a warrior getting ready for a battle. Bhatia on vault.
Great front full front layout. Oh, beautiful. Round off double tuck. Doesn't even need a step back. Lunge.
You can tell she's truly having fun out there. Great routine yet again from Kylie Gambari on the floor.
That's an event she really shines on. We just saw a great 1.5 Yurchenko vault on Denver. Waiting on the score, but that'll score big.
Madison Riedenbach for Denver, 9.85. Cynthia Cooley, 9.675. Kylie Gambari, 9.85 for the young sophomore. Truly deserved.
Almost a stuck Yurchenko full again from Denver. It's the landings on vault that really separate teams. Because if you have a hop here, a step here, it's easily 5 to 10 tenths that add up.
Denver zooms right through vault. They're already finished. Just one more expedition there for Tara Reuter. But they are already done as they had Slovenia anchor that for them.
Great opening double tuck for Sophia Isbell. Great leaps, good 180 angles all the way around.
Love how Sophia Isabel's keeping her energy up through every movement, even the slight ones that are made to give her some breathing room. She's keeping everything clean. We have a rough fall on bars from Arizona. Hoping she's okay.
Looks like she just peeled off on the bottom. Sometimes that can happen at grip breaks or I don't know what happened there. One and a half. Great finish for Sophia Isbell.
TWU has been excellent tonight. Some floor scores from TWU. Cami Zarlingo, 9.775. Bailey Bourgeois, 9.675. Kylie Gambari, 9.875. Truly, truly deserved for the young sophomore just getting started in her collegiate gymnastics career. Sophia Hernandez will finish out floor for the TWU Pioneers. Denver has zoomed through their vault. Tara Reuter, 9.575, and that completes all of Denver's rotations for the night. And Sophia Isabel ties Kylie Gambari with a 9.85. Last but not least, we have Sophia Hernandez for the TWU Pioneers.
Sophia's been solid on floor since her freshman year as well.
Hillary Polio for Bars, Arizona, 9.75. Kronfeld, 9.8. Maisel, 9.725.
Opening up with a front tuck through to double pike. Nails that. She was a little bit short last week, but she did great this week. Switch side.
Love how Sophia Hernandez really incorporates facials to really tie the performance to make sure she is performing from head to toe. Love how she truly keeps the performance factor even in those simpler movements. Remembering everything as a show.
Looks like Arizona just had another fall on bars on a Jaeger.
You could tell that's her favorite part right there in the corner.
1.5 to front layout. Because her first pass is so difficult, it's only a 2-pass routine, so that seals it for TWU. Hitting all 5 floor routines. Exactly what they needed to do, and they did it.
Brilliant routine from Sophia Hernandez.
Way to finish that bar routine. The double layout. It's hard to come back from a fall.
Denver is all done on vault. TWU is all done on floor. Assuming Sophia Hernandez's score is big. 9.95 for Sophia Hernandez. 9.95. Now that's what you want in the second meet of the season. Truly deserved 9.95. And also quick shout out to Kylie Gambari and Sophia Isabel. 9.85, 9.875 respectfully. Big night for Sophia Hernandez. 9.95 on her floor routine. She'll be tonight's winner on floor. Truly with gymnastics, you can only worry about each rotation at a time and not get too far ahead of yourself. Keep your mind where your feet are, because it really will come down to the last point, even a quarter of a point here.
Tough night on bars for Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona having a rocky night on bars here.
Looks like Sophie Hernandez's score on the floor was a 9.875. I believe one judge gave her a 9.95, but they did conference, and turns out one judge gave her a 9.91, a 9.85, so average to 9.875. That was a great floor rotation from TWU, improved even from last week.
So Kylie Gambari and Sophia Hernandez will both end out the floor rotation for TWU at a 9.875.
Beautiful finish of that bar routine.
TWU has wrapped up on floor. Denver has wrapped up on vault. Arizona has two more bar routines. Sophia Mazel and Delaney Mead. Sophia Mazel will be the
For those who have been following along in college gymnastics and road to nationals, you may have noticed week 1 and week 2 scores were lower than past years. Week 1, now not every team competed week 1, but no one broke a 197 in week 2, no one broke a 198. So it'll be interesting to see the results after this weekend to see if any teams break that 198 and are consistently higher. Jaeger. Pack there. Little short on that handstand, didn't quite hold it. Pulling dismount, stuck it. Great routine. That can be difficult to do too when it's been a long bar rotation and there have been falls before you, but she did it great.
So that'll wrap up our fourth rotation as Denver completes vault, Arizona completes bars, and floor is wrapped up by the TWU, your host tonight, Pioneers. And we will take a brief break as we get our final scores in and announce tonight's winner. Before we get into our individual winners, we will go ahead and let you know some of our winners for tonight. Our overall winner is Denver, with TWU coming in second, Arizona coming in third. Arizona winning vault, Denver winning bars. Beam tonight goes to Denver as well. And floor goes to Denver. and we will lay out as we listen to some of the individual awards tonight.